Hi, I'm Rabbi Jeremy Gordon.
I'm not Rabbi Jason. Take two. I'm Cantor Jason Green.
So we're at New London Synagogue, and we thought we'd just talk through my favourite prayer, Jason's favourite prayer of Rosh HaShanah Yom Kippur, because it has absolutely everything. So I'm going to I've got this, which is the American Conservative Movement's Machzor Lev Shalem, and Jason is working with...
I've got the new Koran Sachs, Musaf for Rosh HaShanah.
Right. And we are in the service just coming up to the Kedusha of the Musaf Amidah. And it's the same on Rosh HaShanah as it is on Yom Kippur. And like if you want to open your Machzor to page 143 if you're in this one, or...
Page 565 in this one, and you'll have to stand while you're watching this. No, you don't have to.
The story that I grew up hearing was this story about the sort of mighty Rav Amram of Mainz, who was attacked in the crusadery kind of an environment, and he had his arms and his legs chopped off, and he was brought on a plate into the synagogue and placed before the ark, and this was what he kind of did at that time. But right, did you grow up with that story?
No, but
it's
equally powerful.
It's in the art scroll, and it didn't happen that way. We've now found versions of this in the Karaganiza going back to the 4th, 5th century, and people probably think that it was written by Yanai, who's the greatest of liturgical poets that we have. Do you want to kick us off? Give us a couple of lines.
Untaneh Tokef kedushat hayom ki hu nora ve'ayom uvo tinaseh malchutecha ve'yikon bechesed kisecha ותשב עליו באמת.
Cool. Beautiful. Gosh, sounds great. Sounds better on the day, of course, because it has that kind of added thing, right?
Yeah.
But interesting, right? The Yom is called Norah, as in Hayomim HaNoraim. Translated as that. You get
awesome.
Right.
Or...
Yeah, I often like this one as AWE-FULL.
Absolutely awful.
That amuses me. And it's this day of awe, of terror, and even the angels are trembling as God mounts God's throne of truth. Right. So, and this idea that... That's lovely, right? And you can hit each of those, and you can almost feel these angels trembling up in the heavens as they're doing it.
Especially when I grab the bima and I literally shake.
You shake, right?
I literally do. Yeah.
Well, Haredim, right, literally means tremblers, quakers. That sense that if your life was to be exposed before your Creator, someone who knew you, who knew your inner working. I love this phrase, right? Bochen Kleot V'lev, who investigators of the kidneys and the heart. It would be utterly terrifying. And I love what comes up here, right? Now we're going to talk about who God is, right? So we say, Emet ki ata, behold, for you are, and then you just get this sort of like pumping thing, right? Dayan, umochir, v'yodea, v'ed, v'kotev, v'chotem, v'sofer, Umoneh, v'tichtov, kolonish b'chol. It's this, right? So you are the judge, the jury, the witness. You write, you seal, you tell, you set, you remember everything. And that rhythm is, it really, I mean, it's going to prefigure another rhythm. We've got another rhythm like that coming. But when you run at that, how do you take that piece?
Emet ki atahu dayan mochiach ויודע ועד וחוטא וחותם וסופר ומונה ותזכור כל הנשכחות ותפתח את ספר הזיכרונות ומאליו יקרא וחותם יד כל אדם בו cantorial thing going on, Musaf thing going on here. Whenever you have lists, the musical thing that you do with a list of items like this is you grow it. Each one takes a step up, a musical, I go up in a key, or just a musical note, the pitch goes up, or it can go down. But either way, you feel like there's commas in the music.
Well, you're putting them in pairs, right?
Yeah, sometimes we do that because when the list is too long.
Your Ed. I mean, I think when I learned this, I was Kiatahu Dayan Umochir v'Yodeha v'Ed v'Chotem v'Sofer Umoneh. I mean, and
there you did it exactly right. Yeah. Stepping up, right?
Phew.
Yes, I mean the thing is sometimes the lists are so long that you can't do one each. So although there are prayers where we do that, in the prayers just before the duchening, we have the words where we separate them one at a time.
I meant the enough one, but you don't.
That's one example there, right. But we'll see this. Actually, we got
yeah. Well, so here we've got God the judge, and you've just introduced this other such an important, interesting idea in the context of Rosh HaShanah Yom Kippur, which are these books. Right, so the Talmud says 3 books: one for the all good who get life, one for the all bad who get death, and then one for everybody who's in the middle. And those books are written on, and then they kind of stay open until Yom Kippur, where they are sealed. So all this kind of stuff with Tikatevu and
some say until Hoshana Rabbah.
Some say it's Hoshana Rabbah. Right, all this stuff about maybe written for a good year or sealed for a good year. It's all to do with that Gemara. But this. And one of the things I love about this is that it takes a lot of those Talmudic ideas and just makes them a little bit more sophisticated. So God remembers everything forgotten, opens books of memories, and they read themselves, which I think kind of says, don't get hung up on this. This isn't supposed to be literal, right? I mean, I just gave a sermon about the Bruce Almighty problem, which is the great movie, and
it was on TV this week, actually.
It was on TV this week, yes. Before Rosh HaShanah. That's Jewish, actually. Jews are running the media yet again, but there are literal filing cabinets. No. But I think that when you say that the books read themselves, it gets you into this idea that there aren't books, but there is some kind of like a cosmic. Like an imprint, right? That when you push down, there just remains that impact there, even as you go away, and that you can kind of sort of read that. And this is, I think, one of the most beautiful phrases. V'chotem yad kol adam bo. Chotem yad is a signature, right? A seal of the hand. I mean, as in the ring, right? Yeah. You would, but the chotem yad kol adam bo. We seal our books with our lives, right? Our lives leave this record of who we are.
Right. And for me, it's a powerful thing as I'm standing there alone on the bima, but the word is kol adam. It's not just an individual. It's not certainly not just me, but it's not just an individual in the congregation or an individual in life. This is, it's kol, and it's people in this life and maybe even people in the next life waiting for that judgment, that final judgment. Kol, as in, not just the days and the nights, but all the days and the nights, like in the Haggadah. This is cosmic.
Also, this is really about the Shliach Tzibur, right? I mean, this is absolutely a Cantor's piece. It doesn't appear in the private version of the Amidah. It only comes in the repetition, right?
There are no arrangements of it for congregation. They just aren't.
Good. Isn't that interesting? Good. So I just want to do just one last thing before we move on. The theme of the Musaf Amidah on Rosh HaShanah is threefold. You have all these 10 verses that talk about God being Melech, God being king, God being in charge. You have these verses of God being Zocher, right, remembering. And then you have these verses about God, about shofarot. So you have king, memory, shofar. And actually you can see this in this little passage. It talks about Uvotnaset malchutecha, and on this day your kingness is celebrated, and you're sitting on your throne. So that's God there as the king. Then we get Zocher Kol HaNishkachot and the Sefer Zichronot, the books of memory. So we've got Zecher. And now, what happens now? Do you want to just as this prayer moves on, just this?
Ov shofar gadol yitaka v'kol demamadaka yishama.
Literally, all of this is beautiful. That was fantastic, actually. Right, the shofar gadol tekiyas. Right, that should be I don't know, has it translated here. A great shofar will be sounded. Not good enough, right? Tekiyah, pierce. And actually, what was really nice about how you just did it, consciously or otherwise, were you playing with that idea from Revelation, right? The sound of the shofar in Revelation, the shofar gets stronger. Good. I love that. I absolutely love that. To have midrash in that is absolutely right. And I think that's entirely the point. That this is not human. It's not normal. We have great ballet tekiyah here, but they run out of puff at the end. But it just
that's what's on my mind, because the shofar, the quintessential sound that's supposed to wake us up, everyone who blows it runs out of breath. That's the nature of the lungs. You run out of breath. You can't circular breathe. And so to wake us up, the only thing you can do is get louder. There's no spiritual choice in that.
And this is, I just,
me, anyway.
Right, no, absolutely. I think it's lovely. I get to stand next to you for this, and literally I get about 2/3 of the way through this, and then I have to start going around children's services. So this is the end. This really is the high point. This is the high point of my davening. And then this sort of brilliant moment, Yanai or whoever composed this, goes from that louder, bigger tekiyah into the kol d'mamad daka, into the still small voice, which comes right from this story of in Ezekiel. He's been a bad boy, and God wants to show him what's really around, and so he shows him mountains and earthquakes and volcanoes and storms, and God is not in any of those places. God is in
the still small sound.
And this is lovely, kol d'mama. It has an almost an onomatopoeic quality. I think the word is connected to the English word dumb. It pops up again at the end of Job when God says to Job, "What do you know?" And Job said, "Dumpty." I'm dumb. I have no response to this. But I love the idea that the fear, right, the next words are malachim yachafezun, right? The angels are trembling. That the fear comes in the stillness and in the quietness.
Yes.
And this very, very strange monotheism that we have is expressed by God being almost nothing, right? That the difference between everything and nothing is actually this sort of very, very tiny point. Yeah, let's see how those angels are doing.
ומלאכים יחפזון, וחילו רדה יוחזון, ויאמרו, הנה יום הדין. לפקוד על צבא מרום בדין, כי לא יזכו בעיניך badin.
Right, yeah, and it's lovely. Why are you scared? Ki lo yizku ba'einecha badin. Translated here, there is no one innocent in your sight. I think it's kind of, what have you got there?
They're not cleared in your eyes in judgment.
Because if you would say schut, you would say merit. It's actually, it should be a little stronger there. It's like nothing that you've done, you mortal finite human being, you might be Nelson Mandela, you might be Picasso, you might be Einstein, nothing that you've done counts in front of God, because we're just not competing at that kind of level. So, lo yizku ba'einecha badin, that's why it's tough for us. And then comes this brilliant, I think again, just beautiful idea, v'chol ba'ei olam yavrun lefanecha kivnei maron. All the creations of the world cross over before you. This is a very complicated phrase to do with something in the Talmud may or may not have been miswritten, mistranslated. Almost certainly, and Rabbi David Galinkin's got a terrific piece on this. going up a narrow path of the Mount of Meron. And we know that the Mount of Meron had a narrow path because we know that you couldn't get two camels up it side by side. So the point is here, you are being lined up in single file, kavrakat ro'eh edro, as a shepherd sort of shepherdizes his flock. So the Lord is my shepherd, little ting. I mean, that's why it's so brilliant. It's just pulling Ezekiel, Talmud,
It's
Psalms.
so inclusive.
It's so kind of just
visual and visual moments throughout our texts.
Right, and intertextual. It's a masterpiece of intertextual. So here is the shepherd taking each sheep under the rod, and I think the image here is how a shepherd counts the sheep. That when they go through, you raise the rod 1, you raise the rod 2, you raise the rod 3, because they're all white, they all look the same. You also get that idea that, here we all are with our like talasim and our white kippur and everything like this. You can't really see that we're different, but at one moment, boom, you line up and you're there. And I think you can hear that kind of rhythm in this piece here, right, where I live called v'chol ba'ei olam. Oh, this is lovely Musaf. Here, right?
So there's a number of ways of doing this, of course, as with anything in Nusach. I actually choose a more sort of that lining up in a more peaceful way. It's sort of a little bit gentle, a melody, a composition. That's one way to do it. I'll see if I can match up what we're talking about with some Nusach here. V'chol ba'ei olam Yavron lefanecha, Yavron lefanecha, kivnei maron. So you've got that sort of passing over. Kevakarat roedra Mavir tzonotach achivto.
Feel the rod here. Yeah.
Not only that, there's compositions, and I'll go on for the next piece. I can't really do both parts, but there's compositions for choir where the choir does nothing but dun, 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 and you literally sense time and the counting ticking by as they're going through.
Right, because this is again, it's this sort of tick, 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 right? Kain ta'avir, v'tispor, v'timne, v'tifkoj, right? Let's.
Kain ta'avir, v'tispor, v'tispor, v'timne, v'tifkoj nefesh. Nefesh kol chai, Kain ta'avir, v'tispor, v'tispor, v'timne, v'tifkod nefesh, nefesh kol chai. ותחתוך קצבה לכל בריאה, ותכתוב את גזר דינם.
It's great, right? And the outcome of all this, like close moment of scrutiny, is the tichtov et gazar dinam, the decree of justice, of din, of law, is written in that moment. And then comes this lovely kind of congregational melody, which we do with you leading it out, and then everybody like follows. Join in at home.
Rosh HaShanah yikatevun, uvyom tzom Kippur yechatemun. Rosh HaShanah yikatevun, uvyom tzom Kippur yechatemun.
That was fun. If there's anything else from any point in the year that you'd like to do a thing about, just stick it in a comment or let us know. Yeah. And we wish everybody a sweet, a beautiful, a healthy new year.
Amen.